Philadelphia Eagles linebacker Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has showed out in the preseason so far, and he's ready to follow in the footsteps of his Hall of Fame father.
I know the type of legacy he left with his organization and the fans. Eagles were always my favorite team growing up.
How's it going today? My name is Jesse McNamer, and welcome to Point of View. Before we get into it today, I just want to say we always appreciate your feedback. I look forward to reading your comments like the one we've got here. Also, be sure to stay tuned to the end of this episode to see if you can guess today's trivia question down below. To today's topic, can Jeremiah Trotter Jr. work his way into the Eagles starting group and become a defensive staple in the city of brotherly love? He was an absolute stud at Clemson the past 3 years and put together back-to-back seasons with at least 88 tackles, 13.5 tackles for a loss, and 5.5 sacks. He also became just the 14th player in FBS history to record at least 10 sacks, 4 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, and multiple pick sixes in the last 20 years. Now you hear all those numbers and you gotta wonder why a talent like that would fall into the 5th round. Well, it definitely isn't for lack of skill, but more so his size. Trotter Jr. is undersized for his position as he measured at just 6 feet tall and 228 pounds at the NFL Combine. But make no mistake about it, he's got everything else needed to be elite in this league, and quarterbacks are going to fear him. He's got instincts, talent, you name it, and he showed that with the Tigers. Check out these couple of plays from last season. Trotter Jr. absolutely blasts through the line and takes a direct path to the sack. The QB had absolutely no chance. Then, less than a quarter later, he seals the game by perfectly reading the QB's eyes and leaping for a spectacular interception, especially for a linebacker. But maybe it's a little less surprising considering he was raised by his dad, and Eagles legend Jeremiah Trotter, who was a 4-time Pro Bowler back in his day. The professional mindset runs in the family, and lucky for Philadelphians, they're getting the next iteration. And it comes at a great time too, considering how last season ended. And I'm not here to harp on what happened, but that linebacking group from last year was a major reason the season fell apart, and the Eagles seem to agree. They added Devin and Zack Baun this offseason, as well as drafting Trotter Jr. to go with Nakobe Dean. That room looks a whole lot better than it did last year, so you have to give credit to Howie Roseman for that. And that appears to be the big four at the position, as they were listed at the top of the unofficial depth chart, which is, as always, unofficial, but it's gotta mean something, especially with the way Trotter Jr. performed in his first preseason game. He racked up 6 total tackles and added this play in the second quarter. He gets the right tackle on his heels and doesn't let the QB get too far out of the pocket before he records his first NFL sack. And even though they are in competition with each other, Nakobe Dean couldn't help but give Trot some praise after that performance. He said this in the post-game interview, quote, "He's a true linebacker, man. He's got it in his blood. True linebacker, and he's only going to continue to get better," end quote. So if you're an Eagles fan, you have to be feeling good about that group heading into the season. Devin and Zack Baun are legit NFL starters, and Dean and Trot will form possibly the best backup group in the league. And the latter pair is just 23 and 21 years old, while the starters are 26 and 27. So even if they aren't taking a ton of snaps this season, their time will come. But after last season's debacle, I think they'll need them much sooner than that. I'm not trying to put last year's performance all on the defense, because the offense was definitely a problem too. And they addressed a huge piece of that by snagging Saquon Barkley from the Giants. For more on how he's in the best spot of any running back that changed teams this offseason, check out this episode of Point of View. And the moment you've been waiting for, here's the answer to today's trivia question. We appreciate you tuning in to this episode of Point of View, and we will see you in the next one.